Okay, today's project on the 1994 Geo Prizm is going to be the timing chain or timing belt. Apparently it's behind this cover right here. I got a friend coming by to help me with this because I don't really know all of that. But I'm going to try to make a video that will help other people be able to do this job without taking it to the dealers. Apparently you're supposed to do this every 60,000 miles. This vehicle has 154,000 plus on the original timing belt. So I went and got one of these bad boys, Toyota Corolla and Geo Chevrolet Prizm 1993 through 2002 Haynes repair manual. And I got a new belt from AutoZone, and I got a new air conditioning pump belt because that's the only one I haven't changed because it's the one way in the back. And since I don't want to ever go back in here again, I got a tensioner which was 50 bucks, and I'm thinking well worth it. Here's the tensioner, the belt tensioner. I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's the belt tensioner, and it leans up against the belt to keep it from flapping inside there. So I'm going to go ahead and change that because this will be the original 154,000 mile tensioner pulley on there. So I'm going to change that, the belt, and the only other belt that I haven't changed on the car. So that's got 154,000 miles on that air conditioning belt. And then I'll show you, because I'll show you the mileage. You know I'm not jiving. Why would I jive? I got another reason for that. 154,256. That's the original mileage. So, all right. So I got the parts. I haven't read the book, but I know we're going to have to take this off. And we're going to have to take the alternator belt off. And then eventually we're going to have to pull this motor mount bolt off. The only reason we have to do that, I believe, is to take the old belt off and put the new belt on through. Got to go somewhere, right? It's not coming straight up, apparently, which is weird. Seems like it would, but I guess that bracket right there from the motor mount out to the engine block prevents that from happening. So we got to take that off, which is weird. And I got a new valve cover gasket just in case. On another note, the video before this, I was having trouble with the car being gutless and stuff. Apparently they did put the wrong exhaust manifold on there for $300 and screwed me to the wall. Go to AutoZone, get a brand new lifetime warranty exhaust manifold for 85 bucks. Comes with a new heat shield front and back. There's one on the back to protect the oil filter. So put on a new exhaust manifold and it runs great. And then I put on one of these Spectra intake air filters. I just pull the old box off. Got one of these plumbing no hubs. Put the air sensor, drilled a little hole through the no hub, pop that bad boy in there, and the hose clamps hold it into the no hub. And then I ran some of that black pipe, can't really see it, black pipe, Spectra black pipe all the way around through here and into the fender wear where it gets rammed air. Yeah, boy! So there you go. So back to the timing belt. I know we got to take this off, so I'm going to do that first, and that's only held on by this one bolt, which looks like an 11 or 12. So we're going to do that first. And then we got to pull the tires off. I already put it up on jack stands, both sides. And I know that you have to support the bottom of the engine. So I got my block of wood, my floor jack ready to go because when you take that motor mount off, you have to support the bottom of the engine. So there's that. Okay, well this bolt is a 10 millimeter. Okay, I pulled the box out, the windshield wiper box. It's a 10 millimeter bolt. It's got a push electrical clip. Push the doobob right there. Push it in, pull up, and it'll come disconnected. And then there's a little hose right here at the bottom. Got like a little vacuum hose. Pull it off. Water's going to pour out, so I have a rag ready. And then just put the box out there to drain. And move to the next step, which is going to be taking the wheel off and the cowling underneath that. Not recording. Okay, I got some. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do this. And wheel off. Starting to sink. Just going to need a little help there to come back up. Woohoo! Tire decided it wanted to go down the hill. What the hell is this? A leaf. Okay, so now you got the wheel off. Now we have to take this plate off right here, which is bolted on over here and around the front. And I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. So we gotta take those bolts off and then we can access the engine. Also going to do the brakes, but probably not today. I changed the front strut. It was super uber easy. 2 bolts here, 3 up top. 3 up top. It did throw the alignment off, moving this knuckle around. The steering wheel was nice and straight, but it steered nice and straight, but the steering wheel was a little crooked. I probably could have fixed it, but I needed new tires anyway, so I just had it aligned at Big O and Alameda. They're really great so far. George Orton of San Leandro, I would definitely steer clear of at all costs. So now I'm going to pull this guy off. Okay, well, it's a 10 millimeter bolt. It goes right in there. Then there's another one there, and then there's a bunch in the front. Here's a better look at the Gabriel shock. He came with everything complete, ready to go. I didn't have to compress the spring or nothing. What was it, 70 bucks, 80 bucks for the shock, rental for the spring compressor, and half a day. It's like, screw it, dude, just buy the whole frickin' thing and slap it in there in 10 minutes. It's the easiest job ever. Okay, I disconnected the battery cable because I may have to disconnect the alternator if I have to pull the valve cover off. I can't get the wiring harness anywhere loose from back here, so it has to come loose from down here. I guess I got the positive from the alternator, whatever the heck that is, and those 3 clips, or 1 battery and 2 clips. Got to come off. That's where the water squirty bottle went. I'm working on taking the alternator loose right now. Alternator has a bolt right there, and then it has a tensioner. I don't know if you can I get it from here? Let's see. Light it up. There it is. It's right there. That's the tensioner bolt, which is what you want to loosen up. After you loosen up that one, you're going to go down and loosen that one, which will take the tension off of the belt, and you can remove the belt. Aw, dang it. I guess the red dot means it's recording. Stonehenge. Okay, so hopefully I told everybody that. And that's the alternator, the wires, that's all got to come off. I got that bolt there on the alternator, loosen that, and then there's a bolt down underneath, right there. And you gotta loosen that, take off the belt on the alternator. That's the first thing that's got to come out of the way. Okay, on loosening the alternator, underneath that last bolt I showed you, there's another bolt right here. It's a 12, number 12. That's got to be loosened up as well so I can ride on this slot bracket to loosen up the alternator. So there's one on the top, one on the front, and one on the bottom. Alright, next belt got to come off is the power steering belt. And that's the belt, that's the bolt right there. And that's the power steering pump. That's the bolt. It's a number 14 right there, and it should move on that slot just fine. And then we can take that belt off. Power steering belt. Got the power steering belt off by loosening that bolt right there, which is on the bracket. And then there's another one down here, which is the number 14. And let's see if I can get it. Oh, dang it. Okay, where'd you go? There it is. There's another little bolt. Eek. Oh, shoot, come on. Where'd you go? There's a little bolt right there at the bottom of the power steering pump, which needs to be loosened up. And then you can move the power steering pump and remove the belt. So those two bolts, one on top, one on the bottom, and the power steering pump comes loose for the belt. So the next belt is the AC, which I believe you just loosen that bolt and it takes the pressure off this, off this idler wheel. And then the belt should come off, and then everything will be out of the way of the timing plate, which I have at TDC. I'm not sure if I'm on the compression or not. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to take the valve cover off in this project, but I bought a new one, so it's all good. So I'm going to loosen that bolt and see if the tension comes off the belt, and then I'll have my AC belt off. Alright, on the alternator, I took the belt off and I spun the pulley. And I spun the pulley a little bit. It was making a squeakity squeakity sound. So I took some Tri-Flow. Where'd you go? Label out! So I got some Tri-Flow and I sprayed it into the hole back here, and it made the squeaky sound go away. I also squirted it in here and in those holes and then down in there, but what made the squeaky go away was squirting some Tri-Flow into the back of those holes. It should be fine. I put this stuff in the electrical motors before and had no problem. So a little tidbit to make your alternator stop being squeaky. Alright, well, I needed to completely take off the idler pulley for the air conditioner pump belt, which is loosen it up with that one, and then take that front bolt off, and then you end up with this piece here. There's that bolt and a washer and your idler pulley. That's it. Now they say we got to pull the valve cover off and take the starter out so we can wedge a screwdriver in the flywheel to take the harmonic balancer off. I don't know about that so much, but I don't think it'll hurt to take the valve cover off, so might do that next. Again, these are number 14s. on the idler pulley for the air conditioning belt, which is third in series of belts. Alright, well, they tell me to take out the valve cover, so you got to take off this wiring harness, little clip right here, and the battery thing right there. And I took out the number 1 plug. Now they pulled all the plug wires. Now I'm going to take off the vacuum, 2 vacuum lines, and the 4 valve cover bolts. Here. Hopefully that's all I got to do to get the valve cover off. Okay. Right now we're taking the idler pulley tensioner off. Took the belt off already. I'm taking the idler pulley out. Idler tensioner. Turns out it was easier to take the motor mount loose from the engine compartment than it was to drop the engine, because that didn't give us what we needed to get the belt out. On our 94 Geo Prizm. So this is what the inside looks like after you get the shrouds off. And what it looks like in the engine compartment. And it is a belt, not a chain.
And then these are always the Allens, but
yeah,
with drives.
Uh-huh.
And then metric, of course, and then you got your stars.
Oh yeah. Remember I was calling you,
Oh.
they don't have a Chevelle. This fucking told me the wrong shit. I tell you, I don't know how these people have jobs.
Yeah, what?
Not in prison for
I don't get it.
killing somebody.
How are you guys getting away with that?
Yeah, I don't know. So again, this is another look at the what's inside the timing chain belt area. I already filmed that.
Double overhead cam.
Double overhead cam. And that's the valve cover. It does have oil seals, but we're not doing those today because it's not leaking from there. And this is all the guts. And again, take the motor mount off because you can't get enough slack otherwise. Alright, now we're going to assemble.
Okay, this is natural like this. And make sure you don't have any arrows.
Oh, directional torque?
Yeah. And we do not. So I usually just put it how it was assembled in the box, like that.
Because it has the. Yeah.
So then I'm going to put it like that.
Because the tensioner is going to go bloop right there.
Yeah.
That'll be groovy tunes. Slipping it past the motor mount bracket and onto the lower pulley. Upper pulley first. And over the bottom bracket and around the tensioner.
Oh, that ain't gonna work.
We gotta move the tensioner out farther.
Yeah, how come this is not?
Wrong tensioner?
Well, no, it's just not
Oh, there we go.
all the way.
Pushed over.
Wait a minute, I need it
You want your
this
set?
way.
Yeah.
Where's that? Here we go.
Your socket. Huh?
What's going on here? Did it break this thing?
What, your ratchet?
Shouldn't have done that. Seized it up or something. Hang on. You will go straight back to Sears, you little shit.
Do not pass go.
Yeah. Yeah. I must have torqued on it too much.
Huh.
There it goes.
Oh, yay.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't want to go back in the box.
Fuckers. Go the other way. even more. Oh yeah, I gotta go way over there.
Alright, we got the belts on, and we got the notches lined up on the thing here. There's this one here and that one there on the sprocket. And then down there, if I can get it to focus, there's a dot and a notch. Oh geez, this is a weird angle. Here we go. Yeah, there's a dot and a notch right there, which you got to get lined up. Ah, freak, right there. Ah, well, I guess you can see it. It's a notch on the sprocket and a dot on the engine, and that has to be lined up. And only go forward because my mechanic says it's bad to go backwards. Don't go backwards, bitch. So the new tensioner is on there, and the new spring, because I ain't going back in here. And that was 54 bucks for the tensioner. Small price to pay. All right.
Oh, you're gonna do your
Oh yeah, I gotta do my thing. So let's see. So putting on the what do they call these? The covers. Got to put the bottom one on first, but you got to have the middle one in first. So the middle one's got to go in, then you got to bolt up the bottom one to the middle one. So tip of the day. And then boom, it's in. It's running. With my new manifold, man, you're gonna get one of those filters. You gotta get a filter like that. It's awesome. All right, thanks, Mike. Well, I forget where I left off, but it's been running great with the new timing belt on it. Like I said, I don't know where I left off. The only thing I could think of would be that the harmonic balancer at the bottom is 87 foot-pound torque. Then we put it all back together. It runs great. Turns out that it does need to be, I don't know if I can get it to focus. It does need to be valve timed. I don't know if I can get it to focus here for you so you can freeze frame it. Oh shoot, dude. That's bad. Okay, right here. Intake and engine at cold. And then all the little numbers. Intake and exhaust. That all needs to be adjusted apparently. And then here's your jumper map. For when you want to time it, you have to put a paper clip in that hole and the other hole. In there. Where'd it go? Right here. Pop this little dude off. Inside there. Here and here. Matches up to that. That map right there, the data link connection. That's what you got to jump when you're going to time it. And then here's the vacuum hose if you don't have the right hood. I'll just leave it here for a second so you have a chance to pause it. That's the vacuum hose run. And then speaking of vacuum hoses, this vacuum hose, where'd I go? This vacuum hose here from the valve cover to the intake manifold was shot. Big crack right there. And I changed the PVC valve and the hose, which I don't think is vacuum line. So I'm going to get some of that. And I didn't change the grommet because I don't know how and didn't come with one. So hopefully that's not going to leak. Other than that, it's working. Next step is to do these spark plugs again because O'Reilly said the gap was 0.045, but the book says 0.031 for a 1994 through 2002 Geo Prizm. So apparently you got to get one of these books because you have to do a valve timing. Who knew? Not me. And the new manifold from AutoZone for 85 bucks was a very good investment. Couldn't run better with the new cast iron exhaust manifold. And it comes with a good heat shield front and back to protect the oil filter, which the other one did not have. So that's a good thing. And I changed the air conditioner belt because that's the third one in line. So you have to take all the belts off to get to that one, and I never changed that one. So, oh, and the belt that came out of it was really good shape, but the tensioner pulley was in really bad shape. So there you go. Change them both. And the spring thing, doohickey. Alright, that's all I can think of. So, wow, that was the thing, man. That was it. Timing belt, exhaust manifold, and we're going to redo the spark plug to the right gap, and the new air intake with the pipe that goes all around down in the front and gets the forced air and the yum yum and the doohickeys. So there you go. Boom! It works great. Very, very good now. At 154,000 miles. Whee! Spark plug, 1997 and earlier, 0.031 inches. 98 and later, 0.043. It's completely different than the parts store. So there you go. That's how it's set up into there to time it, as I was mentioning. And then it'll say, check your engine on the dash. But it opens it up so you can get a proper timing, which is over here, down there with a timing light. You get it? Where is it? You can't see it on the thing here. Ah, it's freaking me out. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. But it won't focus on it. But down there is your timing mark. Then you have to set it up with that. So there you go. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm running out of battery. Okay, I ran the Spectra tubing up to the front of the car here, so we get forced air. There it is. Woo, that looked good. It comes up through the bottom here, goes around the battery, right into the nose of that bad boy. Amazon sells it for $8 and some change. The connector point there, which is on its way, but right now I'm using gaffer's tape. And put in the new plugs at 0.031, and it runs great. So to recap, get the right manifold, time it properly with the things and the stuff and the doohickeys and all the vacuum lines and then all that there and the things and stuff and all that, and get a guy that knows what he's doing to help you if you don't know, like me. This thing's taking me to school. Anyway, party on. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Or do you? Anyway, don't forget your beer. And this is my ghetto heat shield, but also with gaffer's tape, which works great. It's hot on this side and cool on this side. Whee! So there you go. Party on.